Hello and welcome back to Bloodborne. This is going to be part 7. We are going to head over to Old Yharnam. Last part, we went ahead and took care of some of the Cathedral Ward area as much as we could get done. So, obviously went ahead and did the loop prior to ending the video and still remained here at the Hunter's Dream. So from here, we're going to go ahead and go to this tombstone and go over to Old Yharnam. And just remember that this place can be completely skipped if you decide to buy the Hunter Chief's emblem and use it at the gate where the big ghost face kind of walks up on the stairs. So then you can completely just avoid having to come to this area at all. There is a reason to do that, probably for a New Game Plus run, because there is someone here that is going to make life a little bit difficult on us as we try to traverse this area. And if you approach it from another side, you can completely avoid that contact and have a little bit easier of a time running through here. But honestly, it's really not hard either way. You can do like a giant skip in order to kind of just get to where you need to get to. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to show it as if someone, you know, who's brand new to the game is going to play it the way that it's structured to be played. Yeah. And here we're going to go ahead and finally pick up our first blood tinge and skill weapon, which will be the rifle spear. I'm looking forward to that, and then that'll pretty much be my main weapon running all the way until we can get to the Reader Palash, much later in the game though. So it'll be Saw Spear and the rifle spear. And we'll come up to this door with some scratches. This town is long abandoned. Hunters are not wanted here. Okay. So we are not allowed to be here, but we're going to do it anyway. We break the rules here. Alright, so immediately coming up to this area, we're going to have 2 points we can go. We can go here, or we can go over there. First part you should do is right here. There's going to be one of those little crawler guys. Now, if these things end up disappearing on you, because they are like the crystal lizards of Bloodborne, they have a chance of disappearing after a while. They're not as bad as the crystal lizards, because crystal lizards will just straight up disappear on you. These guys, they give you a lot of good time to go ahead and just smack them over, but they can be hard to see because sometimes they do blend into the environment, as you can see. So everything's really like gray or dark. So, you know, you're not going to be able to see these guys kind of easily unless you're really staring or you know where they're at. You can kind of use the monocle and kind of scope out an area before you do anything. And maybe that'll help you see them. So, yeah, anyway, they do drop upgrade mats most of the time. So they're worth really hunting down and getting. So we are going to have to drop back down here, which is fine. Usually I would have just grabbed the item and then kind of went for it, but I wanted to go for the plunge attack and kind of just went to kill it. Because I didn't want to, you know, restart for both. And anyway, just drop down here. And then you'll find this little crack here, drop down here. And you can kind of just walk yourself off the edge right here and go immediately towards that direction, but we're not going to do that. You're going to drop down here, and we're going to find a hooded figure. Looks like a little beast, right? Again, take your time, walk around stuff, kind of scope out the area before you start making moves. You know, use the camera to your advantage and poke around by the corners, and you can see that we have trouble on the other side. So the idea is that they kind of wanted you to think that you had something there, but you don't. So you're going to get ambushed. So they wanted you to think that you had an easy back attack there, but that guy would have came up behind you and got you. Now, these things are weak to fire, serrated weapons, and if they have a cloak over their head, if you have your torch out, they're not going to do anything. It's not going to do anything to them because the cloak is shielding their eyes from the fire. But the ones that do not have the cloak actually kind of put their hands in front of their face and kind of back off you a little bit because they are scared of fire. So it's a little thing you can use here. We're actually going to get a better torch for that situation, though. I'm just going around the side here. So, as you can tell, their AI is kind of programmed to know where you're at, so getting backstabs on these two isn't going to happen. But, obviously, you've seen that they can get staggered very easily with just a couple of R1s. So, nothing really bad with that. Go ahead over here and grab this Hunter's Torch. This is one of your Hunter's weapons that you're going to need for your achievements. And the Hunter's Torch is better in every single way. It does exactly what the torch does. Lights up rooms, has a fire, but it is 25 points stronger. B scaling off the gate for arcane builds, and a much higher durability. And this one has no added effect other than, you know, being highly effective distance. So now you have the better version of the torch. So if you're an arcane guy, or if you just want fire damage, there you go. Now you got the best source of it. So you're going to drop down to this platform here. Drop down right here. And then this gate's going to be locked. So this will be a shortcut that we will eventually end up coming up to. And then just keep walking over here. And then climb the ladder. Very simple, right? Old blood boot. And then, because we missed the item right there, we're just going to go ahead and drop down and do it again. And it's just a bloodstone shard. So, nothing really big and spectacular there to miss, but every shard counts because it's one less that we have to grind for later. And then just kind of go back up. Okay, once we reach the top, now this is where the true old Yharnam run begins. Nothing in the corners, but when we come over here, now is a good time to start keeping your torch on you for a lot of this part until we get to where we need to get to.
Hunter! Didn't you see the warning? Turn back at once. Old Yharnam, burned and abandoned by men, is now home only to beasts. They are of no harm to those about. Turn back, or the hunter will face the hunt.
So way over there on the little clock tower platform is the guy that is going to be gunning us down. You can see him right over there. He has a Gatling gun that's going to just continuously shoot at us. There's going to be a lot of obstacles in the way, a lot of enemies in the way, some exploding pots in the way. So just a giant death trap is what this dude is pretty much laying out for us. Honestly, one of the more fun sections of, Bloodborne, to be honest. Nothing really is like that in the game after this. We'll go ahead over here and grab these vials. He's just warning us right now, so we still have a chance to turn back. And you see how this guy is, he's kind of backing off because of the fire. And you can just kind of poke away at him like that. I don't really use the torch that often, but it is kind of an added benefit there. They're going to use the smoke here as a little bit of a trick on you. Smoke the cover. That is a rare drop. That is a poor man's blood gemstone. Physical up near death, so you can, farm away if you want some of these poor man's blood gems. Honestly, physical up near death is while you're at a certain point in your health bar, your attack will go up. So most of the time, you're not going to be running around with that anyway, because you want to keep your health up. And you can see over there, we have another beast. I'm not sure if this one turns around or not. But yeah, just like I said, just take your time. This really all Bloodborne is. Take your time. Try to get those back attacks. There's no need to kind of get an enemy aggressive just so you can take extra hits. This guy is trying to hide himself, but thanks for his coloring and animation, we can see that that was obviously a setup. So once you come around here, I think an ambush tries to activate. Now, if this guy is somewhere, I never notice where he's at, because I think he just kind of drops out of nowhere. He's probably just hanging onto the building or something. I never look up, though. But once you grab those blood shards, then he'll kind of come behind you. And they're just trying to choke you off in here. But use your torch, he'll be scared. Slash away, you'll be fine. Now, from here, this is where we're going to start facing the Gatling gun. I'm going to do my best to explain what to do as I'm running away. Obviously, I don't really do the commentary part of this anyway, so concentration might be lacking, and I don't want to get hit too often. So, if anything, just follow the path that I'm taking, but it's very simple. There's a lot of choke points where they try to kind of, when you don't know the game at all, you will get lost, and you're kind of running around like, oh my god, what do I do? I'm getting chased by these animals, and I'm getting shot at. I don't know what to do. So he's going to get pissed and say, okay, so you didn't want to heed my warning. That's it. You know, he's a friend of the beast. He doesn't want the beast to get harmed, but we're doing it. So just go ahead and run down here.
You are a skilled hunter.
And then we're going to take a right.
Adept and merciless. I've cut with blood, as the best hunters are.
I've never had one of those guys drop down here before, so if they do, just be aware. Take the time, watch the room. There's going to be a bigger one of these over here. Try to get in behind him. Oh. And these guys do inflict poison when they hit you, as you saw there. So these bigger guys, they're not really too much of a threat. You can really get behind them, kind of stun lock them a bit. This one dropped a Temper and Bloodstone Gem, which is pretty good, but we already have that type. But this one is a Triangle. So now you'll be able to put, if you have a weapon that has a triangle slot, that's your first triangle gem that you can put in there. Obviously, percentage-based drop, so it's not guaranteed every single time. We got more antidotes, which is phenomenal. They're obviously trying to tell you something there with their drop, like, hey, you're going to feel the pain of poison. Now, this ladder, you can drop, but you see that guy walking right there? That is an enemy hunter. And enemy hunters in this game are kind of the most vicious enemies on the field, because they are relentless and they have a lot of good hunter's tools, and they know how to parry you, and they will visceral you and all sorts of stuff like that. So they're just as fast as you are. And obviously they are controlled by the computer, which makes them even better. So if you ever need to, you can come back up here, and there will be a beast right there. And then this is just another way that you could have came down. But I like the drop-off method there, because the idea is that you are going to run and panic, and then you're going to start going down the stairs, and then eventually you're going to run into that big guy and his crowd. All while having these beasts chase you down, and all sorts of whatnot's going to start happening, right? So just to avoid that stress, we are just going to avoid all that, drop down, grab those items that we saw, come in here, funnel those two out, and kill the big guy just by a couple of R1 taps. This one isn't so simple. You're going to pop your head out, and he will start immediately shooting at you. Yeah. And that little explosion you saw there was those little pots. Those brown, kind of covered in all sorts of whatnot pots are explodable. And they will do massive damage if you are caught in their blast zone. So you just kind of want to make a run towards this. Watch out for these. Yep. Don't walk into the fire will damage you. You can break the pots beforehand in order to not let him blow them up, obviously, but, you know, it's just easier to kind of roll through it, because the bullets track you very, very good. So then from here, you're going to run, hit this plank, and then run over here so I can kill you guys real quick. Last thing you need is 4 birds kind of chopping off at you while you're getting shot at, and then, you know, chaos involved. Yeah, you just don't want that. And come over here. You can poke your head out to the right. Grab these fire pistols. Very good item to have right at this point in the game. Come over here. And then you are safe from gunfire for a while. Remember to check your left and your rights. Come over this way, and you will see that there are a couple of beast guys that are putting to sleep. They are here for an ambush. Then slowly walk up. Have this guy pop out. And he dropped a crescent version of the physical attack So you got your shapes, right? The radial, I call it the explosion icon. The triangle, and I call this one crescent, but it's called waning. These are basically your main symbols. The way that you identify those is just by looking at your weapon. And if you look up where the blood gem slots are, you'll see that I have, you know, 2 of the radials, and then I have 1 of the waning or crescent moon shaped. So that's the kind of gems that can be inserted into the specific weapon. The specialty gems that we talked about before are going to be more oval, and they come from items. There's only like 2 or 3 in the entire game, so it's really just kind of rare, and you won't get them until you actually like explore the world a bit. Blood tint gemstones are good for weapons, left-handed weapons. So they're mostly inserted into your pistols and stuff like that. As you can tell, the Hunter's pistol already comes with a slot, so I am able to put that blood tinge gemstone in there, and all it's going to do is just, you know, boost up the blood attack just a bit, meaning, you know, makes the gun go boom harder. Alright, so this section can be kind of rough. You're going to have to deal with a variety of enemies through smoke screens, getting shot at, and trying to figure out how to really deal with taking cover and stuff like that. Easiest thing I find to do is just to come over here, run past these guys, start aggroing them, and then bring them back. They're going to follow, and then just fight them off. The ones without the hoods are the most dangerous because they're not going to deal with your fire stuff. And there you go. That's just what I have an easier time of just kind of funneling them together. And if you have a wide arcing kind of weapon that can just take them all out at once, you know, that's something that I should have did, but, you know, I was getting kind of, I didn't want to get hit by this little gunfire there. So then come back over here and deal with this guy. Yep. Then you're safe in this corner and you're safe behind the statue. So then you want to grab this guy's attention if you can. Kind of watch out for the gunfire. Just go ahead and take off your torch so they'll actually start walking towards you. Because a little bit of R1 spamming is going to get the job done on these smaller guys. So not a problem there. And we are just underneath his little blind spot there, so he's not going to be able to do nothing to us. Now, if you want to, you can make a run for this item. Watch out for the beast. Come back over to the corner. So a little bit riskier to do that, but you know, we got to do what we got to do. And sometimes he can kind of like those bullets just track you in weird spots. Obviously, the minigun shouldn't be able to just kind of bend down or reach like that, but it does. All right, so for this part, there's going to be a gate that's going to be locked. Nothing we can do about that for now. And the hunter guy is going to be aggroed on you almost immediately. So what we got to do is we got to run down this little pathway here, run down the stairs, take a left, and then start climbing the ladder. So thankfully he did not kind of take notice of us right there. You can see that he is carrying a saw cleaver along with a hunter's pistol. So he's, you know, that's just kind of the hunter that he is. A lot of the hunters have an identity like that. And he's wearing, you know, some of, you know, the cooler gear in the game and whatnot. So they all have like a base established identity, but the hunters themselves don't have any names that we can see. And these ones are just hunting their own kind, which is some lore and some, you know, covenant stuff and all that kind of crap. So it's really cool to, you know, brush up on, read about it, see why they do what they're doing. And yeah. Alright, so for this part, this can be really tricky to pull off. You do want to ensure that you have your blunderbuss pistol or your hunter's pistol equipped in your left hand. Most of the time you run up here, you might have your torch, but what you want to have is your pistol. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to reset the world state, because the guy on top, his name is Durja, has been aggroed on us the entire time we've kind of set foot into Old Yharnam. So what we want to do is kind of unaggro him because he's already on high alert, so that when we start climbing up, we can get some, you know, some clean pistol shots at him, because he is kind of difficult to deal with at this point in the game. And yeah, I mean, you can do it. You just have to know his moveset, parry him, and then get like 2 or 3 viscerals, or just kind of hope that he dodges off the cliff, which is hilarious. I would just slow crawl your way up here, and like I said, make sure that you have your pistol equipped. And then as soon as you get to the top, just start spamming your L2. So he's already kind of taking notice of us. This might not work. Yep, and then once you see the blood echoes pop for 875, so this is another instance of what I was talking about. He is a guaranteed loot drop of, you know, a certain item in the game. So the devs found a way in order for you not to lose your, you know, special items or anything like that, because he did gravity off a cliff here. So what you have to do is that you have to reset the world state again. So just make sure that you're kind of in the middle spot so you don't zone in somewhere where you're hanging off the edge. Reset the world state here. And you will have his drop, which is the Powder Keg Hunter Badge. The Powder Keg Hunter Badge will allow you to purchase new items from the Bath Messengers back in the Hunter's Dream. And it'll let you buy a new weapon for your trophy hunting experience. The Stake Driver, as well as something else. I'm not really sure. Like I said, just look up the wiki if you really want to know what they drop. I just buy everything anyway at the end game, just to have it all. So, yeah, unfortunately you can't use the minigun. As cool as that would have been to kind of like have a little minigame of just shooting beast off, but yeah. So that is Durja on the clock tower here. That's kind of one of the easiest ways to deal with him. If you have the blunderbuss pistol, the same thing that we just did, you're going to do, but a little bit differently here. So what would have happened is if you have the blunderbuss, because the blunderbuss is basically a shotgun, and it has a wider arc spread of, you know, the pellets that fly out of it. So what you're going to do is that you would reset the world state like we did, climb up here, he's going to turn around and take notice of you, but instead of just kind of spamming L2 from this distance, you're actually going to roll once into him and then just keep spamming your L2 there, and then the shotgun blast will actually knock him off in about 2 or 3 hits. As you saw with my pistol, he took like, what, I had five extra bullets, and then I had to waste 3 more, so I had to use 8 shots to knock him off the tower. Most of the time that doesn't happen. Usually he finds a window where he can roll away, and as soon as he starts rolling around like that, just, if you can, this is why I suggest being by the ladder. Just turn around, hit the X, and then just start descending, like, immediately. Because he is going to kill you very fast. He just hits way too hard for what he is. Now, there's 2 ways we can approach this. You can go down here and approach those stairs, or you can drop from this platform. We are going to opt to drop for the platform. Attack this guy. Now, there's going to be dudes over there. Somebody right here. Or he drops from the platform or something like that. I don't know. They try to ambush you, though, as soon as you come through that door. So if we take a look around the room, we see that there is something going on down there where they're kind of like worshipping this dead beast caught in a chandelier. A whole bunch of chains everywhere. An altar. Some crazy weird stuff going on, right? Don't worry, the planks will not give away. So you pretty much just want to take this area as slowly as you can. You're going to see these little powder kegs right here. They're very, very difficult to tell what you can do with them. But if you just kind of give them a little poke, you can get some free echoes from doing just that right there. And then the evil chanting will stop. You'll see that there's an enemy down there. Just take your time walking across these beams. You do not need to like sprint run. This ain't a speed run. Because you can slip off of these things very easily and then just fall to your death. And then you'll have to restart all the way back to the bridge. So you see there's an item down there. So there's a lot of things to do here, right? Just take your time. Control your sticks. You know, figure out where you can walk off. So right here is a good point. Generally, I like to land on good platforms like that because there are occasions in Bloodborne, and we are going to find out a really bad spot where we do have to drop for certain stuff that you can just glide right off. You think that you have landed on the right spot, but you'll glide right off of it. It's just the way it is. This is actually pretty difficult. So what you got to do is come up here and begin a run, like a sprint, and then you have to double tap circle in order to do a little jump onto this platform so we can get that item over there. The easiest way I do it is that I kind of just line myself up like right here on the corner, begin to sprint, and then just take this. Oh no, I missed. Okay. Well, that didn't work out. So when I go back up, I'll have to do that again. I just kind of went a little too soon. From here, though, you can land. You'll see, like, if you're playing online, you're going to see messages where people have landed and kind of, like, say, like, safety or something like that. Believe the messages, they actually did make it there. But for me, I'm just going to drop. Okay? Drop. Heal up. Grab this ritual blood off the altar. We're going to need those for the chalice dungeons when we do them. And then you can kind of kite these guys around into the fire, but do not walk too close to the fire. Otherwise, you will end up taking damage as well. Yeah, the AI is just dumb enough to walk into it. The big guys, though, they won't. At least not that I've seen. Oh, yeah, he will. Okay. So if you get him in the right angle, he'll kind of be a Dutz. Just walk right into the flame. But the idea is that you come down here, you have no idea that you can set those things on fire, and then you have to fight like a little bit more upgraded versions of these beastmen, and they are kind of just HP buffs at this point. So then just come back over here. This guy's just yelling at us. Grab the Madman's Knowledge and then run up the stairs. Remember that there was a bunch of enemies that were still waiting for us to go through the other side. So just come over here, find this guy. Kind of use these guys as like a combo, like practicing your combos off of them. They have a lot more HP to deal with, so you can actually start finding like a combo that you can get settled with. And comboing and stuff like that will actually help out against some enemies that can be rather unpredictable on their moveset. So, you know, just kind of change it up, because especially if you play PvP, I mean, if you just R1 swing, anybody in the world is going to know what an R1 swing is at this point. So they're just going to, you know, visceral you. And it's going to look pretty stupid. So just be aware of that. From this platform, we're going to drop down. And then we're going to drop down again and collect the item that we did not get over here. Okay. From here, go ahead and drop back down into the platform. We will go back up for that item that I missed, because it is just a cosmetic, but want to make sure that you get everything that you can. From this way, if you turn left, there's going to be a bunch of birds over here, so just go over here and just kind of smash them up real quick. Telling you, the birds are good. Dropping antidotes for me. Okay, it's so good today. I don't even know. My arcane, like I've done an arcane build before, and I never got drops like that during that time. So item discovery, I think it's just based all luck. Honestly, just all luck. So we went over there. That's just a side path to go get some items and some fights. Coming up to this platform right here, this is going to be, I don't want to say a shortcut, but just a way to get back up to the upper platform where we were running away from Durja and his little beast buddies. So what you want to do here is, this is the gate. So we want to pop it back open. Now, honestly, I wouldn't have done this, because at this point I would have grabbed the item and I wouldn't have needed to do this. So this is just kind of redundancy because I missed the jump. But when I open that gate, I'm going to show you a trick on how to deal with that hunter. So instead of fighting him in a fair fight, there is a way to kind of cheese him. I typically don't like to show cheeses as much as I can, but like I said, for newcomer players and stuff like that, or people who've been experienced, you probably know already how to do it. And all the human fights are basically the same. You're just waiting for an opening. You're going to spam L2 and wait for a visceral, or just kind of come back later with a special item and just spam that item on them. So, you know, let's be honest, it's really not that glorious. So there we go. Alright, Bloody Messenger head bandage, just another cosmetic for the little guys. Nothing too fancy, but go ahead with it. Alright, so drop down this platform, then drop down again. Honestly, this is just a waste of blood vials, so whatever. You can, I mean, if you can aim for it, you can land on this pillar. You'll still take damage no matter what. So that's why I just opt for just running straight off the edge there. So we'll run with it. So yeah, like I said, if you want to do the hunter fight legit, just, you know, this is where we need to continue. But if you want to do the hunter fight legit, just kind of dance with him, shoot him as he's attacking you. You'll get a parry off here or there, and then you're just trying to whittle each other down. I think they use blood vials as well, so you can kind of extend the fight. It's just up to you how you want to deal with it. But this is a nice little trick for those who don't want to deal with this guy. So we want to grab his attention. Come down the ladder, and then just stay right here. This is it. This is all you do. I don't know if that was him that died or what exactly happened there. That was interesting. Well, I can honestly say that I did not expect that to happen. I don't know where he went or what he did. So typically what happens is that you'll descend the ladder just for a step there, and he would go running after you and then just fall straight down here. Like, he'll just bounce off your head, and then he'll just drop down, have a little death cry, and you'll be able to pick up an item from him as he dies, which I think is just antidotes or something like that. It's really nothing spectacular. But you saw that he was worth almost 800 echoes, so if that matters to you, do the fight. I'm going to reset the world state because I don't know if I'm going to get the item or not, but let's see if it gets, because I've never seen that happen. I just honestly don't know where he might have died or jumped off to, or if he kind of clipped through something. But I'll take it. But either way, just aggro him. If he shoots you, if he attacks you, just take it, get to the ladder, descend it, and then just push down once, and then he'll just jump. He should just run right after you, straight down the ladder. Or just straight up. Just PvE him, I guess, if you want to do that. Yeah, he died alright. I don't know how he did it. Well, there you go. There's his item that he would have given us. Bone Marrow Ash. Okay. This was... I think I'm getting chased. So it's a usable item that you just use to increase your gun strength, I guess. I've never used them, so I'm not sure the percentages there and how tough it actually makes it. Honestly, don't know how that bird didn't hit me, but okay. And there you see the ladder. That's the ladder upwards. Like I said, we could have cut all through here. Honestly, just jump rolled and then straight over to minigun guy. But we took the long extended route, grabs the items and all that. And then, we pretty much just had that little bit of fire or whatever that he was doing to us. It can be easily avoided, so... Just play it smart and play it slow. You'll be alright. So this is a unique a unique little thing. A man hanging from his feet. That is kind of what the Bloodborne symbol is. I only just very really recently learned that, like 3 years ago. So I think that's pretty cool. Never really would have figured out that's what that was, but I'm invested. Over here you can kind of peek inside and be like, oh, there's something in there. How do we get in there? 2 beastmen right here. Honestly, I probably should have went after to the right guy and just attacked him. But I went for the shiny instead, and I got back attacked. So thankfully they did not take me out. Otherwise that would have been straight up embarrassing, just to see all that hard work gone for no reason. But it's happened before, so, you know. I've had this guy take me out plenty of times. Dirt has killed me plenty of times, but we do what we do. And then just go around, make sure you got everything, all the fires stopped, all the beasts are dead. And then we are going to finally pick up the weapon of the gun. Or at least one of them. Alright, so coming back to this place, we are going to drop off this platform down there to another area, and then we are going to face off against a bunch of beast dudes. Once we are done with that, we will circle back, and we will go ahead and head downwards and through to the true path of what we have to do here, and then face off against our third boss, which is going to be another beast-like enemy. Thank you for watching this part of Bloodborne. We'll see you in the next.